Hi, this is Johnny Bergen with another Chicago Blues guitar lesson, and this time I'm going back to Robert Lockwood's record with the Aces, Lewis Meyers, Dave Meyers, Fred Below, and I'm going to do Steady Groove in the key of G. 2, 3. Switch my tone, get a little bit of a real simple. Okay, so what I did was I played the melody, and I'll run you through that, and then I played Lewis Meyers solos. And I would really recommend, if you're a guitar player who you know a bunch of chords, you know a bunch of scales, but you're not necessarily feeling like you're the greatest improviser, I would recommend really looking at the various solos and fills that Lewis Meyers plays on this whole record, because it truly demonstrates that fluency that I keep talking about. And he never plays anything he never plays it exactly the same way twice, and he always is changing his attack and his approach to sort of tell a little story. So this solo, even though I kind of messed it up a little bit, but the structure of the solo really illustrates that, and it'll hopefully get you working in your own way on that. So let's talk first about the melody. It's tough to do all downstrokes, so you're probably going to have to do down upstrokes. I've listened to it real carefully, and it's hard to tell exactly what it is, but to do this, you know, all downs is pretty grueling. So you might as well go up and down. So it starts out the same way so many songs start out that kind of say, I'm fixing to tell you a story, right? Sit back and let me explain it to you. So this. That's what I think of when I hear those notes, because you're going here. Or like if you're that little hatchet band or whatever that was, then you're going here. Like that. So another subject. We'll get to that one in a future lesson. But anyway, that's the intro. This is 5, 3, 4 on the G string, 3, 5 on the B string. So you start in the middle of your chord of your G string. Everybody got that? And this is going to repeat when you're on the 4. So I'm getting ahead of myself. And it's going to repeat on the 5. It's going to repeat, 5, 4, 1, right? So now the trick is you got to move your hand. Just move your hand a hair. So the ball of the way I'm doing it, right now, like the ball of my palm here, right there, like below my thumb, it's kind of about the 5th fret. So my 3rd finger's comfortable. Now I'm going to move it up 2 frets. So this part, this ball here is kind of on the 7th. And then you have this. This is 7 and 6, G and B strings. Then move your hand back and flatten the 3rd finger, 5 and 5. And then guess what? You're set up for success. Don't move your hand. Just put your 1st finger, 3rd fret B string, 2nd finger, 4th fret G string. Now you have this. So move your hand up. So when you put it all together, it goes like this. You might want to do down, up, down. Down, up, down, up, up. Or wait, down, up, down, up. Just alternate pick while you're skipping strings, right? And then try all downs for this one. And you even give yourself some, like a little bouncing G string to, instead of. It's like it makes it kind of bounce, doesn't it? Then you got the fast part. And that's 5, 3, 5, 3. Then you slide in here, which is the bottom, kind of the floor of your 9th chord. This whole record is like a whole, it's all about 9th chords. All about 9th chords. Every song. This and this. So anyway. These are all downs. Except for this intro. These are all downs. Whoops. Now I'm going to try alternate picking. Now I'll try all downs. So I like the aggression of the all downs, but don't get behind. So however you want to play it. Then you move everything up to the C. Make sure those intro notes are real. They're in the right place and they're distinct. If they're muddy, then they're no good. And you can break it down into smaller hard parts. So you just practice the parts that are challenging to you. And the way you do that is you slow it down. Can you do that? Now let's try a little. And then the second time around, on the second go around, he'll do this. That's his way of, raising the bar a little bit, right? All he did was make it 3 strings instead of 2 strings. So you have 12. This is like a basic C 9th chord, if you want to look at it that way. 12, 11, 10, 10, 10, 10. and your C chord. 9, 8, 8 on G, B, and E strings, right? Oh, and then we forgot the best part, right? Turn around. That's definitely all downs. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? It just doesn't sound right at all. The down, up, the alternate picking. So, and then you just play the D and G strings of an augmented chord, which is 4 and 3. Or you could do 4 and 3. It really sounds better as a 2-note chord. And then 4 and 3 on the D and G strings. And give yourself time to get back into it, or to just go to your G ninth. So that's what happens with the melody, right? So now let's talk about Lewis's just cool as hell guitar solo. Isn't that beautiful? And then he goes, that's the 4. So that's what he just did. That first phrase, I mean, was what he played on the 1. Something really similar to that. And then he goes, best as I can tell. There's other ways to finger it, but I guess he does it like this. He could have did that. You got to stretch out with your third and pinky. That's what I'm doing. Then move my whole finger, my whole hand. You could finger it a different way. And then oops. Let me slow down a little bit. So let's start. That's kind of saying, okay, it's my turn now, and I'm easing into it, right? Root note, octave down here in the middle, and then he's kind of expanding on it. Everything's like 6, 5, 4, 5, and 3. Which is kind of like the melody. So one kind of answers the other. And now that sort of wraps up his whole thought on the G chord there, right? And then he's going to the 4. And then he plays something really cool over the C. Or I think he did it that way. So what he's doing is 3rd finger, 6th fret, pinky, 7th. So he's kind of playing a G major over the 9th. But it works. And then he's sort of going to ease back to the 1. That's a blue note there. It's the flat 5. It's the 9th fret. Just slide it there. Like. And then we're back on the 1, and he just says, okay, we're back here. Notice these rolls. I could have that a little bit wrong. Then he goes, that's his way of saying we're on the 5. Now, second go around. It sounds really good over the these chords. Notice how I'm doing a good click there to lock in with the snare. You can hear some real good clicks if you have headphones and you're listening to this. So either way, it sounds like he started out using the 5th fret to bounce off of. And then he's quickly changed his mind and went to the 6th fret. And a little tug, not a bend. It's not this. That starts to sound like, British rock or something. He's just tugging it a little bit. He's tugging this one a little bit too, because it would really sound stupid without any expression at all, wouldn't it? It's like, okay, why are you playing all these notes? But when you surf it, kind of surf that jank, 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 surf it like this. Yeah. That, he did that right at the right moment, right? Over the C. And he answers himself in octaves a lot. And then he goes, let's see, let me back up. And then he's always playing this all through the whole record. In whatever key it's in. So, it's in G, so it's here, 10th and 11th. Yeah. That's tough. I like that. Then I like to just go here. This whole thing is just the pentatonic up here. So that shouldn't be news to anybody, except for these rolls. So many people, like when they first go, oh, just play a pentatonic scale, they go, and they're like, how come that doesn't sound like anything? Well, you can't just go straight up and down. You got to sort of skip some steps here and there and make it interesting. And put some tugs in there. Now, just make your life easier and move your hand down a tiny bit to the 11th fret. And also, notice that if you're always in on the root all the time, then it's like everything's kind of locked up. But he ends here, which just makes sense to go. He ends on the minor third, this note, or this note. But it's easier here. I just played it on the low E, and then I played it on the A string. So I recommend the A string. And then you have a choice. He goes, or, and then we're back. So you could play the 5 and root here or here. I kind of like this. I think he plays this note in there, which is a nice little note to lead you on. This is the 2nd fret. It's like breaking that pentatonic thing again. 2nd fret D string. And there's that blue note again, the 6th fret of the G string. Then just flutter pick it. Just go da 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 da. I love how this is kind of the last note of that form because he's falling down to here. So every phrase he says takes him to the next place. I love this. It's kind of like this. It's very Lowell Fulson-y, isn't it? But he sort of described the whole, everything you could do in a G chord. That just sounds very, 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 very Louis Meyers. And then it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just make a whole new statement in C but I'll anticipate the going back to the one. I might have that one a little wrong. Surf it and tug it. Tug those notes. Break your form. Flutter it. Yeah, so there you have it. Hope I wasn't going too fast. I really do. Please, I'm going to get way more into Lewis Meyers because I think learning some of these Lewis Meyers solos by slowing it down and practicing it, that's just music to my ears, and it teaches you where and how to break these sort of pentatonic habits you may have. I think it's a great way to build fluency and expression and logic and composition in your solos. So last thing I'll mention, mostly everybody's doing these chords. Sometimes you'll see Lewis just walk into his nights to make a little pad or a cushion. It's like a saxophone making a pad or a ba, ba. He's going, but mostly they're like chopping it. That kind of thing. But you will see this. So here's your G9, right? So how do you make the quote-unquote hideaway chord from your ninth chord? In this case, you got it made. It's easy. Keep the third and second frets. Keep the third and second fingers there. Have an open B string. And then just put your pinky that was on the B string, put it on the E string. And now notice your first finger's sitting there waiting for something to do, right? All I did was put it down. So you could go da 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 da. Hideaway chord. Notice how it's the four note, C note. Then I went to a C ninth. It's pretty, huh? They had so many pretty chords. Oh my God. So didn't get to another song, but I think down the road we're going to do like practically everything on this record, and I also want to talk about Southern Man. I'm a Southern Man, Lewis Meyers solo record, or some of the things off of some other Lewis Meyers collection. So if you have any stories about Lewis, please mention them in the comments. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Join me on Patreon for my Tuesday Zoom chats. Everybody gets a chance to play. It's a lot of fun. And see you next time. Thanks a lot.